Welcome back to Living Healthy. It's time now for Inspired Insights. Today my guest is Kevin Cahill from
Canadian Legacy Builder.
Awesome. Nice to have you on the show here,
Thanks
Kevin.
for having me here, Dr. Phil.
Wonderful. I'm always amazed when I go back to the story that you share of where you've come from and what brought you to be the solution to what has become a major problem for a lot of families. It's quite an amazing story. So let's start from when you were young. What started the whole ball rolling here in childhood?
Well, it really goes back to when I was about 3 years old. My father retired due to disability.
Right.
And it was very different growing up at that time of age with a stay-at-home dad.
Right.
Mom was the one who went out and worked, earned the money for the family. But Dad, being one to never give up on life, he set out to try and make a difference in his own little way. And he volunteered sometimes 5, 6, 7 times a week at different things, fun runs, fun walks, the Ottawa General Hospital, wherever he could. He was lending his services, ringing bells for the Salvation Army.
That's awesome.
And it really, for the majority of my life, I thought he did those things to get the free coffee, the free cookies,
Right.
the hot dogs, the parking. And it wasn't until my mom passed away when I was 25 and I saw the community come out to support him at my mom's wake and funeral that I realized he didn't do those things for the free things. He was robbed of his ability to work at a young age, and he set out to regain some of that personal value back in his own life.
And he helped change the lives of many people, obviously.
Correct.
And you got to see this because you were tagging along with him for a lot of this, weren't you?
Very much so, especially in my younger years. He wasn't going to leave me at home or with a babysitter or whatnot.
Right.
So I was always there. I loved the free cookies, the free pop, the free treats, and being there with him.
Along the way, you got to meet some pretty amazing people yourself who further inspired you, like Princess Diana in Ottawa back.
Correct.
That would have been back in the day.
When I was 12 or 13 years old, Dad volunteering at Red Cross at the time, and Princess Diana just happened to be on a visit to Canada and had the amazing opportunity to meet her with a number of other students.
That's amazing.
We had a private opportunity with her with no media, no dignitaries, no nothing, and she was such an amazing woman faced with many trials and tribulations in her own way, and yet she set out to change the world. Her biggest passions were children and the Landmine Foundation, and even though she's been gone so many years, her legacy still lives on.
That's right. Yeah, it's amazing. So when we look at where you've come from there, you started to see certain trends happening started within your own family and your wife's family, and some trials and tribulations as to not being properly prepared.
Correct. One of the first big experiences in our own family, in the late 90s when my grandmother passed away. When my grandfather passed away 15 years earlier, it was a very large estate. And my father saw his own mother's estate get dwindled down to next to nothing.
Wow.
And Dad, even though disabled with a grade 6 education, he really made the comment at that point to say, I don't want to have this happen to my own family.
Right.
So he set out to ask the questions, what happens next? Mm-hmm. How can I ensure that my family doesn't fight? How can I ensure that the little that I've worked for, that I've saved for, how can I make sure that that makes a massive difference to the people I love and the causes that I care about?
Right. And leaving his legacy to you.
Right.
And to the rest of the family.
Correct.
Gotcha. So this all started to stem about because originally you were working with Freedom 55 financial planning, and one thing led to the next as to the aha moment, I guess.
The many aha moments over the time, and one of the real true turning points when Dad was he was diagnosed with cancer in 2008, and in late 2009 he was told, you have 3 to 6 months left to live.
Wow.
And it was those last 3 months of his life where I left Guelph, went to Ottawa, stayed with him at his bedside, and is really thinking about everything he had taught us while he was alive, but also thinking about the lessons he's going to leave when he passes away. And again, as I said, Dad was a man who, the last 30 years of his life, he was on disability, grade 6 education, but yet he left a very large legacy, not only to his favorite charities, but also to his family. And it really begged the question in my mind, if a man who has a grade 6 education, who can't read, can't write, isn't educated and really didn't have a job, if he can make a difference to the world, to the hungry, the widows and the orphans in the community of Ottawa, why can't everyone else?
That's right.
And Canadian Legacy Builder was born at his bedside.
That's amazing.
You know, with the way the world has been, it's not, for us, it's not a matter of how much can you make. It's, well, as Winston Churchill, his famous quote, you make a life not by what you get, but by what you give.
It's so true, isn't it? Yeah. And doesn't it feel so amazing for me, I know personally, to be able to give of myself and my time and my effort and even money at any time. It's the giving that counts, isn't it?
Very correct, very correct.
That's amazing. And certainly, again, what you're bringing to the table now with Canadian Legacy Builder can help to solve a lot of problems that people are currently facing. And I really appreciate you sharing this today, because I'd like to build on this in future episodes. Because for financial health, for many people, this is key. So thank you for sharing that today, Kevin. I really appreciate you being on the show here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Phil.
My pleasure indeed. We'll be right back after the break.